Hey YouTube, Ed here with Jack of all trades and welcome to another video. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to flush my Sandpoint well. So let's get right into the video. And welcome back. So yes, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to flush or back flush my Sandpoint well. A little background behind this: when I built this cabin 16 years ago is when I drove this well, and it's been supplying us water ever since. And over the course of the years, I've noticed that the pressure has gone down a little bit. Sometimes it gets a little harder to prime the pump. And the well has just been degrading over the course of time. Most notably is the fact that when you kick the water on, the pressure drops pretty dramatically. There's not enough water, I don't think, and this is a theory. I don't believe there's enough water coming into my sand point to supply the pump efficiently. So what I think has happened is that over the course of 16 years, fine sand and sediment and things like that has leached its way into the sand point and subsequently has started to plug it up. So what I've decided I'm going to do is I've got two courses of action here. I can, one, pull the sand point and drive in a new one, which I'm not real excited about doing because that means taking apart my well house. Or two, I can try back flushing it and see if I can't get a little more time out of this thing. Maybe if I back flush it, it'll last a few more years, and then maybe it'll be my kids' problem and they can deal with it. At any rate, I digress. So what we're going to do today is we're going to back flush the well. So let me take a minute and let's just explain to you what back flushing is, and then I'm going to go ahead and do it. All right, so what we're going to do is what's called a back flush. And basically what that's going to amount to is I got to take all the plumbing off the top of the well pipe and expose the top of the well pipe. And then I'm literally going to shove a water hose, down the well pipe and flush the well pipe and the sand point itself, more importantly, the sand point, with high pressure water. I've seen guys do this with regular city water. I've seen people do it with pumps. I've seen people do it with pressure washers, things like that. All I've got a small utility water pump that plugs into 110 volts. And I'm just going to basically hook a hose up to it with uh, this style of hose nozzle or spray nozzle, because this will actually fit in my sand point. This is a small enough diameter where I can actually get it down my 1.25 inch pipe, so I can run it down there, and I can adjust this to turn into, for lack of a better term, a jetting water nozzle. So I'm going to have this all preset up. What I've gone ahead and done is I have filled these two barrels full of water, and I've also added some bleach because as long as I'm going to be back flushing the well, I might as well sanitize the well with some bleach. But I've got a 55-gallon drum and I've got a 30-gallon drum of water here, which gives me a total of 85 gallons. And the reason I filled these up is because quite obviously when I unhook the pump from my well, I'm not going to have water anymore. So I had to have water on standby to use my utility pump to go ahead and back flush the well. So the hope is that when I shove the garden hose down there with this jetting nozzle on there, that it's going to churn up the sediment inside the sand point and then flow it back out of the pipe onto the ground and clean out the sand pipe. And you'll see better when I get the whole system hooked up. All right, so you can see here's the well pipe going down to my sand point, and this is obviously the plumbing that's going to my pump, which is over there. This bucket is a priming bucket. I just put that in there to help me prime the system when I need to prime it. But so basically what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take this elbow and everything on the other side of it off so that I can get the garden hose down into the well pipe or the sand point well to back flush it out of there. Now, the other thing I don't want to do is I don't want to dump all that water in my well house. So I've got some fittings and some PVC pipe, which is going to actually come off of this well point, which the hose will go down, and then it's going to actually come outside the door here where I am, and it's going to deposit the sand and the water outside of my well house, so I'm not flooding my well house, because I don't want to do that. I don't want to flood my well house full of water. I just built it, so I want to keep it as clean as I possibly can. That being said, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to show you this on camera. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to disassemble the plumbing and the pump and get it out of the way and get the whole system set up, and then we're going to back flush. Okay, so I've got all my pipe hooked up. My hose is at the bottom, and I can feel it hitting the bottom. And I can tell I'm not hitting the bottom of the Sandpoint. I'm hitting soft, mushy stuff on the bottom. So I'm pretty sure that when I fire this pump off and start jetting water down there, I'm going to get some silt and stuff coming out. So let's go ahead and get the pump fired up, and let's see what happens. All right, so I definitely had a plug in there, uh, and it cleared out relatively quickly. It was really dirty water there, and then all of a sudden it really cleared out really quickly. I'm going to pull the nozzle out, make sure I'm still on a jetting pattern, and then I'm going to go ahead and shove it back down there and just run the rest of that 55-gallon drum through it and see what happens. All right, so I pumped about 85 gallons of water in there, which is about right. I definitely had a plug in there. You saw the silty, dirty, sandy water come out right away, but boy, did it clear up fast. So I mean, I think it was a legit plug. It wasn't just buildup. So let's just take a minute, and I'm going to show you my setup here. All right, so I've got two drums. I got a 55-gallon and a 30-gallon drum. I just picked these up on Facebook Marketplace. Both those barrels cost me, I think, $20 is what they cost me. I've got a 50-foot half-inch light-duty garden hose, and I went with light duty so it was easier to snake down the well pipe. I've got a 10-foot extension hose here that I use to suck the water out of the barrel, and then just a general portable utility pump. This is a cast iron pump. I believe it's a half horse, if I'm not mistaken. It's 1,500 gallons per minute, or 1,500 gallons per hour, 25 gallon per minute, 120 volt, 8 amp pump. I think it's a half horse. Doesn't matter. It provides really good pressure. So that's the pump I used. Then you can see on my well pipe there, I've got a rubber coupling right there. That's what I use to attach the 1.25 Schedule 40 PVC pipe. I put in a 45-degree sweep. I could have probably got away with a 90 there. Uh, but I went with 45. I don't know why. My thought was it would be easier to snake the hose down uh, than it would be with a 90. I think I'd still go with that sweep right there. And then I just ran an inch and a quarter piece of PVC to get the water to come out of the pump house instead of building up in. Now there was some dripping that still went inside the pump house, but it is what it is. But that's my basic setup. Well, the process helped. I increased some water pressure. Seems like the flow is a little better. Uh, but it did help, but it's still not what it was. I'm thinking my Sandpoint is probably shot. It's been in the ground for 16 years. They say they only last, anywhere from 8 to 12, somewhere in there. So really this Sandpoint is it doesn't owe me anything. It certainly is provided me with many years of good service, but I think the Sandpoint's actually plugged up uh, beyond repair at this point. I think I'm going to have to pull it and drive in a new one. Maybe a subject for a future video, maybe not. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna milk this one out as long as I can. I'm gonna have the supplies here to do it, and then one day I'll just have to pull the roof off the pump house and probably have to replace it because it's just simply not pumping water like it used to. And like I said, after 16 years of service, this Sandpoint certainly doesn't owe me anything. So, kind of a partial fail and kind of a partial success. I did increase some water pressure, I did increase some flow, but I don't think it's going to last very long. And like I said, it still isn't what it was like when I drove it 16 years ago. So, with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Now, if you're liking this kind of content or if you got any suggestions, let me know in those comments. Maybe you know something that I don't that I can maybe do to resurrect this Sandpoint. My well is down. I've got 15 feet of pipe and I got 36 inches of sand pipe in there, so I'm down almost 20 feet, and it's just not pumping water like it was. So with that, let's go ahead and wrap this video up. As always, thank you to my longtime subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's watched these videos. I really do appreciate it. This is Ed with Jack of All Trades, and we'll see you on the next video.